So the Nintendo Switch has been out for just a little bit over a year now, and I want to share with you my thoughts as to why this is a system that you shouldn't pass up, and is quite possibly the best home console system available right now. Okay, now before we get into the top 5 reasons why I feel the Nintendo Switch is the console you should pick up, and honestly the best console that is available right now, I know a lot of you are going to call me out on this, so I'm going to get it out of the way first. No, the Nintendo Switch is not the most powerful console out there. As a matter of fact, it's the least powerful console out of the 3 that are available. So you've got the Xbox One X at the top of the heap, followed by the PlayStation 4 Pro, and then the Nintendo Switch. But it really and honestly is not about power here. It's about having fun, right? Are the games worthwhile? Do they leave lasting impressions with you? And are you having a generally good time? And that's where Nintendo excels. They can really create these captivating moments that stick with us for a long time. I mean, why else does everybody flock to the NES Classic or the SNES Classic? Because these are throwback games that left an impression on us. And so Nintendo excels at doing that. So let's go ahead and talk about the first reason why the Nintendo Switch is so worth it. Exclusive games. So yes, there are exclusive titles on other platforms. You think about games like Halo, Gears of War, God of War, these titles that exist on both PlayStation as well as Microsoft's consoles. But there's no denying the fact that many of the exclusives that are on Nintendo's platform don't exist anywhere else, and we're not going to see them anywhere else. So think about this: Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The list goes on, and we have more games that have been announced that are coming soon, such as Hyrule Warriors. We also have a new Pokemon game coming. There's more titles that are on the horizon that are going to be exclusive to the Nintendo console. Who can forget Super Smash Bros., huge fighting game. Now, when you think about other exclusive titles that exist, sure, there's a few of them, but I'd argue to say Nintendo has a lot more, and these are titles that you don't think are going to appear on any other console. Let me give you an example. Crash Bandicoot, for a long time, that was exclusive to PlayStation. Well, guess what? Now it's been announced that it's making its way not only to the Nintendo Switch, but to Xbox as well. So there's some cross-platform that's happening there. But you're just not going to see that with some of these titles like Mario and Zelda. They're not going to live on other consoles. Reason number 2, developer support. Yeah, to be honest with you, Nintendo hasn't handled this so well in the past, and that's one of the reasons why I think that their consoles have struggled a bit. That's all changed with the Nintendo Switch, so if you think about it, we've got Rockstar with games like LA Noire, you've got Doom, you've got Skyrim by Bethesda. I mean, these are titles that we would have never thought could have been possible on a Nintendo console. And there's more on the way. You've got Ubisoft with Rabbids and Mario Kingdom Battle. That's a crossover that no one ever expected. And there's other titles that are coming as well. We also have a huge independent game developer ecosystem here. They call them Nindies. And just taking a look here, this is the front page as of today. There's a whole bunch of them and tons more. These are independent titles that are going to range from a couple of dollars on up to $30 and more. And there's some that are releasing every single week. It's an extremely strong ecosystem of Nintendo independent developers providing games. You know, as I take a look at my game case here, this thing holds 24 games. And when the Nintendo Switch first came out, this sat empty, quite frankly, for a long time. Pretty much the only game that was in my Switch was this guy right here, which is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. But as I flip through this now, it's time to get a new game case. I've got Resident Evil, I've got Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Splatoon 2, Bayonetta, Pokken Tournament, Lego City Undercover, LA Noire, Cave Story, Lego Worlds, Fates Extilia, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Dragon Quest Builders. Some of these titles, they're not all first party. These are titles that are independent as well as third-party developers. And so that strong system of developer support is really going to carry the Nintendo Switch further and further and make it more popular and more popular as it appeals to different ages and also different categories of gamers. Portability is huge, and it's one of the big selling points of the Nintendo Switch, and sure, you can dock it and play it on your big screen, but I gotta admit, one of the nicest things about the Switch is being able to take it with you, and they do it in a way that is really exceptionally seamless. You don't lose quality in the game when you undock it. I mean, in some instances, you might see some frame rate dips, but I don't really notice those all that often. And when we talk about portability, check this out. This is my Get Up. Of course, you can get larger cases and things like that, but I've got a Pro controller here because that's what I like to play with, but you could ditch that and not even use that if you didn't want to. I've got my game case that holds 24 games. I also have my Hori play stand because I like setting the Switch up on here and then, you know, playing it like that. So there's a couple of things that are optional there. I mean, if you wanted to ditch the play stand and that controller, then really all you need is something like this. And how nice is it to be able to take this with you? It's super portable. And because you can detach these, if you wanted to get even a smaller case, which I've got one as well, you could just pocket the Switch main system, the screen and the brains, and then pocket these separately, and it's even more portable. So being able to take this with you, it is a great travel companion. Sure, I feel that there's still a space for, let's say, the Nintendo 3DS or 2DS, but in terms of taking a home console experience on the go with you, and if you're limited to just playing on the screen, this thing cannot be beat. And if you've got a family and maybe all your kids don't have TVs in every room, or you want to limit some of the big screen TV time because maybe you want to watch your TV show, they can just play on this. And they can plug in their headphones. Yeah, it has a headphone jack, so that's kind of nice. And you get the full experience that you would on the big screen, just on a smaller screen. Innovation. Nintendo is really innovative, and that's the thing that I like about them. And they get a lot of flack for it because sometimes they come up with these really off-the-wall ideas that has everybody scratching their heads saying, what are they thinking? That's just nuts. But you know what? That is true innovation because what they're doing is they're not afraid to try different things. And when it works, and it works well, they really hit it out of the park. So let me give you an example here. Nintendo Labo. So if you're not familiar with this, this is the whole idea of buying these cardboard kit sets that you'll put them together. So you have an element of either working by yourself to kind of make this craft or working with your family as a kind of a team, if you will, to build something. And then you place your Switch inside of it and it becomes kind of like the game that you're playing. So there's an example of a fishing rod that you can use to go fishing, and it uses the gyroscope and the vibration and everything for a level of immersion. There's another one that's a piano, and there's other things like that as well. There's a really intricate one of a backpack where you're kind of doing these things with robots. This is the kind of stuff that I like because it pushes the whole gaming industry forward. And yes, it's not always going to work. There's going to be ideas that people try that fail, but that's how you move forward. You'll never know unless you try, and that's what I like about Nintendo is they do innovate, and when it works, it usually works really well. And finally, price. So $299 for a Nintendo Switch. When you compare it to the pricing of, let's say, an Xbox One X, which is $499, or a PlayStation 4 Pro, which I believe goes for about $349 now, $299, you get the Nintendo Switch. You can take it with you. There are a lot of games with even more coming, and good games. I mean, it's a really good value proposition. They priced it appropriately. And let's face it, I mean, the way that these things come off, if your Joy-Cons were ever to break in the future or you wanted to replace them, it's an easy fix or an easy replacement. You just slide them in and away that you go, although I see no signs of them breaking anytime soon. I haven't had any problems with mine. So, you know, it's portable. You get a home quality console experience in the palm of your hand. If you want to plug it into your big screen TV, you can do that as well. Again, at the price of $299, you're going to get everything that you need to get started. The dock for connecting it to your TV. Of course, the system just like this, so you can take it with you on the go. Pretty much the only thing you don't get is a game with it, unless you buy one of their bundles, which runs about $349. But there's just so many reasons to seriously consider a Nintendo Switch if you're a business traveler, just if you're a gamer in general. One of the pieces that I will mention at the end here is Nintendo's online strategy. At the time of this video, they still have yet to announce their full online strategy, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But all of that aside, I don't see that as a deal breaker or anything that would cause major heartburn or concern. I would still recommend the Nintendo Switch to anyone who's asking me, you know, what console should I pick up? And the other nice thing about it is it's family friendly. So there's a lot of good games on here that are great for the entire family. So did you like the video? These are my impressions, my opinions on why the Nintendo Switch is the best console that is available right now and the one that you should check out. If you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe for even more content, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.